Okay. Hey.
Oh, great idea.
So great.
We're Cat and Cat, and this is our podcast.
Tattoo talk.
That's what it's called. How did you get into the tattoo industry?
How did I get into it?
Yeah.
Like my origin into the tattoo industry, or how did I hear of the tattoo industry? It would be fun.
Let's start with how you, I kind of know how you got into it, but I feel like I haven't gotten like the full juicy.
Okay. So 2016, I started my apprenticeship. Yeah, about 7 years. Yeah, so unfortunately for a tattoo shop locally, their owner had gotten on the wrong side of the law the week that I had a tattoo appointment. And it was kind of, it was in shambles when I arrived.
Oh, sorry, that was great.
And yeah, I'm just annoying and kept bugging to like show up, help answer the phones. You can just tell the place was like gonna catch fire if somebody else didn't step in and lend a hand. Not put that on me, but yeah, I went in for a tattoo appointment in July 2016, and I think it was like mid-August I just started showing up every day and helping out, answering the phone, answering emails. Yeah.
How long was that? Like, how long did you work at that studio?
2016 to 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was like 2 senior artists, both into like black and gray realism. I don't think either of them really wanted to take an apprentice on, but I am who I am and continued to show up and was like, I'm going to tattoo. Because I had nothing else better to do at the time other than, raise my daughter, who was born June of that year.
Oh yeah, you were like on your mat leave.
I was on mat leave, so I was like, this is it. This is the time. Because like,
fuck yeah.
Like a traditional tattoo apprenticeship, you're looking at like up to 2 years, no payment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was on mat leave. I was just getting money from like the Ontario government from my bartending gig prior.
Yeah, Wacky Wings.
From Wacky Wings, right?
Sioux Classic.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tattoo. I'm doing it. Because that wasn't for lack of trying for like the 13 years prior.
Because you had an art background, you went to hairstyling, like you did a bunch of stuff. Like you're quite
I did
educated.
Everything. Yeah, I did a little bit of everything in the artsy fartsy realm. But I always wanted to tattoo. Like once I figured out what tattooing was, I think it was like my aunt. She had like a gigantic like Celtic thing on her ass, and we only ever saw it in the summer. And I was like, I want to be her. And then like, I think it was early 2000s when like MySpace was Suicide Girls. Right when I saw them, I was like, that's it.
What a good era.
Right? I was like, I want to be them.
For sure.
And like, how do you become one of them? You have to get tattooed. And then like, yeah. That kind of kickstarted it. When did you start?
I was a kid. I was 17. I was in high school.
What year?
I don't know. I'm not good with that. I'm dyslexic. I'm in my 14th year of tattooing. I'm 31. You guys can figure it out. Born in 92 when I was 17. We're really making me look intelligent here.
I don't know. Okay. I can't do math. I can't do math. Show me a tattooer that can do math.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had a bit of a different experience. I didn't go looking for it. It found me, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So I was always like the artsy friend in high school and like drew portraits and whatever. And it's like any other 17-year-old kid. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think I was supposed to go to Nipissing. I was going to be an art teacher. Like that was my plan. It's because every female in my family was teachers. And a friend of mine in high school got hit by a car and passed away. And because I was like the artsy friend, they were like, we're going to go get tattoos of memory for him. Yeah. So I offered to draw them, not knowing anything about tattooing, and looking back, it's kind of ironic. But when we went to go get them done, the guy, Drew McBride, I think they called him, like Drew Crayons. He's a big teddy bear. He's such a sweetheart. But he was one that we went to, and it was like a basement studio. It was still clean. Like, yeah. I think he still tattoos. I haven't seen him in like decades. But he was great. He was like, who designed these? And I said, it was me. And he's like, do you do any other work? And I was like, yeah, I draw portraits. So he like checked it out and he's like, you know, if you can do this in tattooing, you can be really successful. Not a lot of people do the portraiture.
Yeah.
So, you know, and when the first time you lose someone, not that we were like super close, but you know, like the first younger person that dies when you're younger, it kind of like shakes you a little bit and you like look at life a little differently. And I was just like, you know, fuck it. I don't want to be a teacher. Like I want to try something else, and feeling rebellious, and, gave it a go. And I remember having a melon, like those like soft green ones, those honeydew, and just fell in love with, like, I went home and tattooed the shit out of this melon and pretty much never looked back. Like I went and
okay, but like, how did you get a tattoo machine then?
So he gave it to me. He literally was like,
how did you get it?
Like, he convinced me to. He's like, I think you should give it a go. Like, your artwork's sick. And I was like, okay.
No.
Yeah, no, he gave
no,
me,
like we didn't have Amazon. Like
no,
Amazon was just like kicking off when I started tattooing, with being able to get like tattoo machines from like Walmart.com and Amazon. Before it was like you had to order it out of like an industry magazine.
Studio One was like my first whatever, but he gave me his old coil. So did you start on coils?
No, they scare the shit out of me.
So those who don't know, I think it's pretty mainstream knowledge, but like old school tattooing was done with a coil machine. Now it's more rotary, which is like the quieter ones. The coil had that really loud buzzing.
Yeah.
They don't have cartridges for coil.
You can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit.
You can toggle between like your needle and tube and your...
I'm so out of touch with coils. I haven't touched one in 10 years, like a decade. It's been forever.
No, I tried one once and like, oh my God, when I was at Annapeg, I used a coil for like 10 seconds.
Nope.
I was like, nope. I've been tattooed by coils for years because everyone that I got tattooed by in Hamilton, old school, like gangbanger boys club tattoo guys, all still running coils, like to this day. I'm just used to that sound. Like
it is nostalgic.
The sound and smell of a tattoo shop, early 2000s, like
green soap.
Yeah, green soap, and it wasn't even Cavicide, it was like Dettol.
Oh my, the orange, Kate, isn't that what they used to do the stencil though? The Dettol?
Yeah, I think so, I don't know.
That, and then fucking Glide.
Yeah.
Deodorant.
Yeah,
Glide
Speed
Stick.
Yeah. All my first tattoos were...
the first year is so funny.
Yeah. Now we got tattoo stuff.
So legit. But yeah, so I started in the Sioux, and then I don't even know, like some teacher at Sir Jamestown where I went to high school was like, hey, like, why don't you apply for this grant? Like actually open up like a small studio. Cause I was just trying to do it. And, you know, at the time my mom, or like my parents rather, my mom wasn't very supportive. And so I was like, that's where I was living primarily. Mm-hmm. And so my boyfriend at the time, his dad let me tattoo out of his basement, which is like such a slay. His name's Wayne. He was really cool. Wayne. So thanks, Wayne. But yeah, so I did that. I applied for this grant, and then I opened up a small studio on Albert Street above a hair salon, which is like, looking back, Albert has been accustomed to.
I don't know, Sam did the same thing. He was on Cora above Jackie's. Like, he started above a hair salon. That seems to be the thing. Like,
nice, Sam.
You know, personal services.
Yeah. Because it was cheap.
Yep.
It was cheap and I was able to afford it. And then I realized that I couldn't learn here because I didn't have anyone to really learn under. Drew was cool and like gave me the basics, but I was like on my own. Yeah. And then whoever let me tattoo them in high school, I'm so sorry. It's probably terrible. God. But yeah, so then I moved to Toronto, and then I was, there for 5 years, and then went back here. That was kind of my journey-ish. And I didn't really have like a apprenticeship the way that we do apprenticeships now. Yeah. I didn't really have, like, I got hired on as a junior, which I still, like, had old school traditions where, you know, if you didn't set up a station right, you'd have to do, like, jumping jacks or push-ups, or, like, I remember running around the block when I was graduated from an artist to a senior or a junior to an artist, something like that.
Did you run around the block?
Yeah, they dressed me up in like a tutu. No. I had a headband on. It was like kind of sexualized, but like I was into it because I don't give a shit. And then I was like just running around the block doing jumping jacks. And you're in downtown Toronto, like on Bloor Street. It was kind of fun. I'm like, I can't do that to people. I would love to do that to people, but like you're gonna hazing canceled and like called something. So
yeah, for sure. We didn't really.
You didn't have any like clean the floor with a toothbrush?
No, they were actually like they were just bros. They were just bros, and it was just like big brother kind of bullying. Like, they'd take a massive shit in the bathroom, and I'd go down there, and then they'd turn off the lights and like close the door on me, and I'd be like having a complete panic attack because the old buildings on Queen Street are just
They're not the best.
They're moldy and mortifying, and then
look
just being
rats.
stuck there with like their McDonald's stink shit.
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
like, why are you doing this
Boys
to
are
me?
so gross.
Yeah, just like, yeah, it's just older brother kind of thing. It wasn't awful. Like the apprenticeship was, I feel like it was standard to like what we do when everyone first starts at our shop with like, you're sweeping, you're mopping, you're setting up, you're tearing down. We were like hand bombing the crap out of stencils.
Yeah.
Doing like designs for tattoos where the, you know, like little walk-in Pinterest shit that they were like, I don't want to do this, so I do it.
And they were both talented guys.
Very talented. Very
so
like
that's cool.
Yeah, so it was very nice for what it was.
Yeah.
But definitely not what they were interested in. They did not want an apprentice, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I pushed myself on them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They put up with me, I put up with them, and we parted ways, I don't know, 2017, 2018, before I went to my next shop.
So were you hired on as a junior at the next shop?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you hired me on as a senior, so yeah, I guess she hired me on as a junior.
Or just like a regular artist?
Just an artist. Yeah, because at that time there was no one else tattooing other than, like Shalane was tattooing. She had been tattooing for like 30-something years at that point. And then Corey was like into his like 14th year of tattooing at Annapeg. And then there was me like less than 2 years into my career.
Cool.
Yeah, just a baby.
Just a baby.
Yeah, it was like took on whatever they didn't want to. It was just like the floaters, the walk-ins.
So, you know, in hindsight with some stories of the industry, not a terrible apprenticeship. I mean,
no, not
like there's some awful stuff that goes on.
No, there was just no God. Yeah, like of course, like being in like a setting, like a space run by boys, there's always going to be like sexual commentary and just like me hearing things I don't want to hear about other clientele, and then you know, them having their own spats and personalities. But no, it wasn't the worst. But granted, I don't remember a lot of it, and that's on repressing and dissociation. You know,
we all do that.
Yeah, it gets us through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't awful.
I just hear horror stories, like, you know, people get hired on as an apprentice. They won't touch a machine for a year, but they'll do literally front desk. They'll do everything, and then they get fired.
Yeah, bitch work.
Because it's not a regulated industry, and I really wish that there was like a red seal. Who's that guy that we were talking to from Switzerland, or that kid? Anyways, he was so cute.
Yeah,
he was so nice. But like, there's actually apparently like a red seal trade over there where it's, you know, has a board that's overseeing, and I feel like a lot of that stuff wouldn't happen that you hear in the industry nowadays.
Yeah, because we have like public health, which just oversees your sanitation and whatnot. But it would be very interesting to have, not like, it doesn't even have to be a certification process, but something that was just like, yeah, you've passed the steps, you've made it to a level of understanding where you can like safely proceed with your small business kind of thing.
Quality control.
It's
one thing to Google and know what to say when they come, to be like, hey, here's my disposables, here's my sharp spin, my wash station, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but they're here for 30 minutes once a year. You can fake it. Exactly. You can fake the shit out of anything in 30 minutes.
They're not seeing the depth on the skin. They're not seeing all the stuff that, you know, I don't know. I think that I absolutely love what I do, and I have so much pride in it. And I feel like it's really trendy, especially through the pandemic, to go and buy a machine online and teach yourself. And I mean, it's hypocritical for me to say because I'm kind of self-taught, but I still went and I moved to Toronto, and I seeked out proper training. And there's people who are genuinely hurting people and not knowing. And I don't think it's from a malicious place.
No, it's not from a malicious place. But it's definitely a trendy, like TikTok ruined the industry.
It makes it, I don't know. I just, I wish it was held to a higher standard.
Yeah. Like, it would be cool if it could be back to the, like, remember with Icon, you used to have like a registered shop.
It was
and
hard.
they'd check in on you.
Yes.
And then you were able to like make an account to order supplies, where now like you can go on, literally, I don't want to call out websites, but you can literally go on any sort of tattoo supply website and order supplies to your door, and it doesn't have to be a registered shop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amazon now, literally anywhere you can get whatever you want.
Go ahead, buy your Amazon machines. They're fucking garbage. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But with all that being said, like, I will, like, where do you think stigma's at? Because I think we've come a long way, but I think we're still a little bit behind. Like, we live in a small city, so it's a bit maybe different than, like, Montreal, Toronto, like, the bigger cities in Canada.
Yeah. Stigma.
Yeah.
Like, just of the industry as a whole, like that, like the boys club kind of
Yeah,
stigma.
I think, well, I guess there's a lot of different ways we can go with that, but.
Biker gangs, hoodlums, and.
Like, our clientele is so different now, right? But, like, even being a heavily tattooed, like, you're way more tattooed than I am. Like, you're heavily tattooed. Do you feel that, you know, that stigma has changed a little bit? Whereas.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. But do we care anymore?
That's the difference.
No, we don't care anymore. That's the thing. I was watching this thing the other day about how, like, people always make the commentary, like, what are you going to be like when, like, how's it going to look when you're older? Nobody's going to hire you. You have a face tattoo. Guess who's hiring us now? Our generation.
Yeah.
And we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because we're already dealing with, like, the shitstorm that is society. Mm-hmm. You literally just need people to work. It shouldn't matter the physicality of it, right?
100%.
I think the only time I'm getting, like, sideways looks or, like, oh my God, I feel it most when I'm with my daughter. Because there's, like,
that's brutal.
She's just this cutesy, tiny little blonde thing, and then there's me. And I'm like, I am her parent. I'm her parent. Stop looking at me like that. And it's just like, I don't know. Definitely more so with, like, the more tattooed I get, you get the look of, like, people are assuming I'm some sort of felon drug dealer. Like,
you're the first thing from that, which is so funny. You're just, like, so well behaved.
I'm soft.
I mean, let's not tell your secrets, but yeah, you're definitely,
I'm a criminal.
Yeah, you're a big softie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a facade. And I wish people understood that. It's literally just like, it's fashion. It's, I don't know. It's just, it's like, I don't know. It's identity, and it shouldn't matter.
Oh my God. No, of course not. Even, you know, our slogan, like, for our shirts, tattooed people look better naked.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I should know that.
Yeah.
But it's not about vanity. It's that, like, I genuinely feel more comfortable being tattooed. I remember when I first started getting tattooed, and I was young, like, I was, you know, a young buck, and I've always had, like, thick thighs and, like, cellulite on my legs, and I just always had that super thin skin, like varicose veins and whatever. And as soon as I started getting my legs tattooed, it was the first time you'd ever seen me in shorts.
Like, I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, and even, like, when I got my stomach tattooed, I never would show my midsection or, like, have a crop top or anything. And now I'm, like, half naked online. I don't give a shit. Because it makes me feel good about myself. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I do it for me, and I like it. It's my self-expression.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, half my stuff doesn't even mean anything. And I'm like, I'll go to an artist and be like, do whatever you want, because I love the artwork of it, and it's inspiring to wear that.
Fill the gap, make me more comfortable in my skin.
Yeah, like, how boring is it to have no tattoo? I mean, whatever, do what you want, but, like.
And I don't know, anytime I see someone with, like, blank skin, I'm like,
what's wrong with you?
Lend me at it.
Do you not have trauma? Like, what's that like? Oh. But, like, on that topic.
You don't have a pain kink?
That could be a whole other podcast. Some people really don't like getting tattooed. It's insane.
Yeah, kind of. Ooh.
But I will say, like, the clientele has changed even in the past, even since the pandemic. You see different people coming in, like, different.
I like grandmas, teachers.
Yeah, and now actually in the school board, I don't think that they can make you cover it up or any, like, government job unless it's offensive.
Yeah, like,
right? Like, we're not gonna mess with that kind of stuff. But if it's just a tattoo, like, they can't make you cover it.
Yeah,
I've tattooed so many teachers.
I know. It's so cool. Like, even when one of my first jobs, because I have, like, a pinup, and her underwear was showing. So, like, that was risque. So I had to have my, like, sleeves covering it because it was just, like, it was sexual. I was like, this is a freaking pinup. Of course it, like.
Is that Wacky Wings?
No, it wasn't. No, oh my God, Wacky Wings. By then I was, like, past college. No, one of my first jobs when I was, like, in Hamilton, I was, like, 18, 19. It was, like, in a call center, like, desk job type thing. And they're like.
Was that your first tattoo?
No, my first tattoo was my ribs. I got the Japanese peonies.
Why do we always do that to ourselves? Mine was my foot.
Young and stupid.
It was my foot. Painful.
Rib cage. So nice. Nice nap.
You were 17, you said?
18, right on my 18th birthday.
Oh.
Skipped school and was like, fuck me up.
That's behaving. You didn't go with, like, a fake ID. I was 14. Guess who did it? You'll guess.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. He's so talented, though. Like, hats off to that guy.
Yeah. 14.
I mean, I developed at, like, 9, so you probably thought I was, like, 20. But yeah, no, I was 14.
Fuck. I don't think I knew.
not insane.
No, I knew what tattoos were when I was 14, but by that I was like, when I'm 18, when I'm 18, when I'm 18. Because I didn't, fuck, you think my parents were going to sign for me? No.
Come on.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, that circles back when you were saying, like, the only time I feel judgment, I was like, is it with your family? Because that's for me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Most of them are chill.
I love you, but I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, all the time. You done yet? And then, like, the comments about, was it my mom came in and saw your neck or your face and was, like, making comments about me getting it? I'm like, that makes me want to get it so bad. Tell me not to do something.
You're like, sorry, I'm not allowed to get my throat tattooed. See you in a couple months, Mom.
I'll get there. Right on there.
It's
funny how we changed though, because I remember saying that I don't think that I would ever do certain areas, and now they're already tattooed. Like I still don't think I would ever do my chest, but I've been saying I wouldn't do my butt for a long time, but now I'm doing Linda's literally tomorrow. Shit. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna look so good. That's so sick. I don't know.
I can't wait to get my butt done.
Who are you going to?
I don't know. I want to go to Ian Parkin.
Can you do your hand?
No, I have not been tattooed by Ian Parkin. He's just like, he's a fucking god. He does like this sexually explicit, very pornographic, traditional, with like the 18 round shader fucking line work.
So kind of like Buddy, you did your face. I know his name. He's so cool. Buddy, you did your
Kurt
face.
Montgomery.
Kurt Montgomery.
I was gonna say Kurt.
I was gonna say a cool guy.
Kurt. That's not a tattooer. Kurt Montgomery.
Yeah, but kind of like sexual, the old school, thicker line work. Like, cause what is this?
I think that was a bloomed 14 round liner on my hand.
Oh,
that was
nuts.
Matt, he goes by Craven Ink. Matt Craven. I don't know. He's from England. I got tattooed by him in Turkey.
Yeah. I gotta say, I swear every tattooer that's ever exists. Like, I have so much respect for you for knowing the history so well. You know what's going on in the industry. Like, you know all of the names. And not that I don't know the names, but like not not even like a fifth of what you know.
I don't know. I bank the information weirdly.
It's good.
I'm obsessed.
Is it from like a place of inspiration or just like loving? Like where does that come from?
I think that was like when I first found out about tattooing, like when I like had any extra money after like rent and groceries after my first job. I remember going and getting like running to the side like Max Milk or like the Chapters or whatever and being like, I need Inked magazine. And then like there was like it wasn't Mickey Sharps, but there was like a lot of
that's an old name.
Yeah, like they had their own magazine kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there was one of the shops in Hamilton that had like they had stacks of the magazines, and I used to go in there and I'd take like all their old ones that were like severely out of print, like late 90s.
Nostalgic.
I just sit there in my bedroom and like draw and like read up on all these tattooers from 16 years old to now. I still do it. Like I'll be in Max and I'm going and grabbing like a bottle of water and I'm grabbing Inked magazine. So it's been like 20 years of just studying artists and industry. And
you get tattooed by a lot of different people. Like I've been like a handful of people, but I like will go back to the same people all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're like constantly getting tattooed by new people.
Yeah, it's a collection.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah. So I've been tattooed by like, I don't know, 30, 40 different artists at this point.
Something that I know we didn't plan on DTC being a female non-conforming like studio specifically. That's just kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Which I love. I'm not complaining. Like I absolutely love it, but I think it's something to talk about in the sense of, being female, non-binary, and our experience in the industry with it being so heavily dominated, and like your experience coming up with the old boys club, and like it's definitely come a long way, but I think that that's still so rooted.
It's different. I actually reshared a video today of this like male tattooer. He's like, oh no, the 5 worst things about working in a shop with female artists. And it wasn't actually horrible things. He's like, I can talk about my feelings without judgment. I feel safe. Like I was like, yeah, it's I don't know, it's really nice. Just it's soft, but like it is in like a really good way. Yeah. Like, because normally you'd expect a tattoo shop to be like not that we don't play like heavy metal and shit because we love our music, but like the walls plastered
Sometimes
with
it's
like
so much. I'm like, Kat, what is this?
Sometimes it's a lot, and I apologize,
You
but
don't
also
do what you tell me.
yeah, I need it some days. Sometimes you just need to rage.
I love you.
But like, but like going into shops when we first started getting tattooed, it was just like the music blaring. You couldn't hear what the front desk guy was saying. There'd be like the naked girl calendar on the wall. It's slay. We love that.
Yeah.
But also it's just like visually such a different setting.
It almost looked dirty. Like, I'm not saying it was,
no,
but like
not
that
dirty
was
at
like,
all, but it looked
there's
dirty.
Shit everywhere.
It didn't, I was going to say it smelled dirty, but it didn't. It smelled like boys and like cleaning products.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, there were some shops.
Yes, I was waiting for when it was going to happen. Ansel.
Oh fuck, I can't even think of the name of the shop now, but they used to do like, if you were going to get your nipples pierced, they would give you one nipple for free if you took your bra off and like threw it over the like I don't know, like the banister. I don't know what the word is. The scaffolding in the ceiling of the shop, like shit like that.
Yeah,
was very prominent in the 90s and early 2000s when we would have just been like first getting sucked into it. And then there's our shop where I was saying the other day, I was like, thank God, because there was like an older woman came in to get tattooed by Senga. And the shop is just beautiful and it's so nice, but something was, I can't remember what was playing, and you can just see her like eye twitching, and I'm like, we're having a metal day, Grandma's not excited, but it could have been a tattoo shop. Like, it could have been a fucking tattoo shop.
Yeah,
like we have like, we kind of have like spa vibes, which is nice because everyone comments on how like clean and airy and like the plants.
It's your regular tattoo shop.
It's not your regular tattoo shop, and it's nice. It's very serene.
I will say, when you did your guest spot in Montreal and being in like a regular tattoo shop, I was like, this is hitting right now. Like it I couldn't do it every day. No. How many artists they had jammed in those stations? I was like, I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I think they had like 8 artists there that day.
That's nuts.
I mean, we could do that, but it would be a lot because it's like, I can only imagine the amount of the headache.
That was a space smaller than ours, though, that they had that many people.
Yeah.
But that's what it was like, you know, like that.
I love the aesthetic of it though. Like the checkered floor, the traditional flash, like floor to ceiling. Yeah. Like, I love that visually. That like is a tattoo shop that's like will forever live in my heart.
For sure.
But like, I get why ours is the way it is, and it just gives a completely different experience.
Yeah. It's been so long because we've been at the studio. I mean, you've been there for how long have you been? We've been together.
We have been together for 3 years.
I stole you. At the 5-year party?
You motherfucker. Yeah, you are.
But before that, my good friend Anne, she owns a breakfast pig. You'd go there for breakfast, and she'd harass you, being like, "Why aren't you working with Katrina yet?" And like, I don't know who else, but I'm glad.
Talk about that. Wait, is she recording right now? Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Just you vaping into it. Let's keep going. Talk about it.
Yeah, they would harass me while I was trying to eat breakfast.
Wants to eat their pancakes.
Like, I just want to eat my pancakes. And they're like, when are you going to go work with Katrina? I'm like, I don't know. I've got loyalties to who I'm currently working with. That's just who I am. I'm sorry.
That made me respect you even that much more, because I was like, I love loyalty. That's what I would want someone to say.
I was so fucking unhappy, but I was like, God damn it. She took me in when I was in a bad space, and now I can't leave. And then it was like the struggle of being like, I will die here and I will be so miserable. Oh. Whatever. Yeah. Like I learned a lot being there. Like fuck, she'd been tattooing. At that point, she was tattooing longer than I was alive.
100%.
Which is crazy.
You can't fault someone for that. But
no, just not my vibe.
You created the vibe here. We're good. Yeah, I was saying like. So I've been in our environment for so long now that it's like it's kind of hard to reflect back and think of being treated differently because of my gender or how I appeared. But I definitely, when I was at Down South, I had some different experiences. There was a shop that I had applied for. Went in for the interview. They were super well known, and I was like so pumped to, go there. And I was like 19, so I was super nervous, and I wasn't really very tattooed and whatever. And I come in and they were like, yeah, like we'll bring you on. And then they like all of a sudden had like made a station at the front, and like I was going to tattoo up there in the window. And I was like, But all the boys are in the back. Why can't you want me to tattoo like in the lobby?
Welcome to the Katrina show.
But it's like, because I'm a 19-year-old girl, like, get out of here, you weirdo. Like, I don't know, so like stuff like that. And then this is just kind of funny, but I remember the one studio I worked at, Pud Mag, which I learned like everything. Like, I owe them my life.
I like them a lot.
They taught me a lot. But anyways, one of my clients I was going to like introduce, and he kind of cut me off, and he was like, "Oh, like, is your boyfriend getting tattooed?" I was like, "What?" Like, I'm tattooing you, and he was like, "Oh." I was like,
"Yeah,
what
happened too?
What just happened?"
That's not a fun feeling. Where it's like I had I did the same thing, set up the station. We're getting ready to stencil her, and she's like, "You're tattooing me?" "Yeah, bro. What?
Can you be more
okay, I'm sorry. I just shaved you and we're putting the stencil on your skin. You think I'm just prepping you?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I thought Gary was tattooing me." I'm like, "No." She goes, "Oh, I don't know you though." I was like, "What? You made the appointment. You don't know who's tattooing?" Like,
so I think experiences like that, or like someone, I don't even think this was like actually in the industry, but being a tattooer, and if someone was asking me what I do, and then like I told them, and they kind of laughed, and they were like, "I thought you were a kindergarten teacher." I was like, "Thanks." So I haven't been this heavily tattooed for very long.
No, because like when I first met you, you had like the leg sleeve, and you wouldn't
have any in my arm.
No, you wouldn't have thought you were tattooed, except for like you did have like ass to foot tattooed, but you didn't see that.
Yeah, but it was covered most of the time, right? Unless I'm like, it's warm. Because apparently it's summer right now. It's mid-fall. Not mid-fall, but it's fall.
It's fall.
It's warm out.
It's nice.
It's warm.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I wasn't like very outwardly appearing
to be a tattooer.
And because I got like, you know, the round face and the blonde hair and shit. Like I'm like, I'm like
fucking hardcore. Like,
me and Chad Kroger are so hardcore.
Yeah. No, that was like when we were talking to Niku the other day. You're like, where are your tattoos? He's like, "Oh, I've got one back here." I was like,
which I honestly shouldn't have done, because I hated when people asked me that.
I know, but you can't help it, because when you see like you think tattooer, you think someone who's tattooed or at least has like an obnoxious amount of piercings.
Yeah, they look the part.
They look the part, and then when they don't look the part, you're like,
yeah.
So you're not practicing on yourself? Show me the garbage tattoos you've done on yourself.
Yeah.
Show me the shit you regret. Like,
you know what though? Robin LeBrac, that crazy talented guy I go see in Montreal, he did like my hands, my bicep, anyways, a bunch of tattoos. I guest spotted there. He didn't have any tattoos until a couple years ago. And he's been tattooing for a long time. So he didn't even have tattoos when he was tattooing.
I think Kurt Montgomery is the same way. He doesn't have that many tattoos.
That's so interesting.
He doesn't have that many. And it's just like,
that's cool though.
He looks like a handyman.
Yeah.
And then he's going to tattoo very like phallic sexual shit on you and do it with like.
So good. I love him. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about how the industry can be different towards, you know, different genders and stuff. But thankfully I haven't really experienced it more from like clients, which is so bad.
No.
But, like people come, "Can I talk to the manager?" And Riley's like, "That's me."
"Hello, sup?"
I know I'm a woman, that's fine. Or like, "Can I talk to the owner?" And then I'm up there and I'm like, "Hello."
Hi.
Like they just assume that I should have a dick. I'm like, I can go get one and wear it if you want.
Yeah,
but
will
like,
that
what?
make you feel better?
Such a weird, I think that's not a tattoo industry thing. I think that's like a societal norm. You know, when we talk about a doctor or someone, a lot of the time we'll use the he pronoun.
Yeah.
Out of how we were taught, like that from when you're a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just assumed that it's a man that's going to be in that.
Yeah, like show me the guy in charge. But like, I could be the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Sir.
So I really like that change. And I think even for our small community, you know, living in Sault Ste. Marie, we actually have a lot of female non-binary entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Here.
But even other tattoo shops that are literally only female and non-binary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what goes on, eh? Like, I couldn't tell you what tattoo studios are here right now.
I'm nosy. We know this. I'm nosy.
And it's not out of like, I don't even know. I just stay in my own lane. Like, I just don't, I don't know. I don't have the time to.
I just like to know everything.
If I need to know anything, I come to you.
Yeah.
God tells me what's up.
Yeah. It's not even like tea. It's just wanting to know. Like, it's just constantly being updated on like what the industry looks like for us locally. Yeah. I'm like, hey, so this is what these guys are doing. This is who they hired on. This is like.
Well, because most of the time it's like you're so stoked. I remember when Corey, that's his name. I never met him.
You've never met Corey?
No, or the guy across the river, Solomon. Greg?
Greg?
Never met him either.
Holy fuck.
I know, I gotta go make some friends. But anyways, I
love
remember
them
how
both.
you were so pumped when he went on his own. Like, it's not like you're always like, oh, so-and-so is doing this, or or when he hired that apprentice, like, you were so pumped.
Yeah, because she had like come to us and I was like, we don't have space for another apprentice right now, but you know who would love you? Corey. Because fucking put the nerds together.
Oh, she was the anime
anime stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
stuff
you guys
cool.
would just vibe, and apparently they're vibing, and she's
Good.
doing great. And I'm so proud of him for opening his own shop. Like, you work for someone else for so long. I think it's like you don't think you're capable of doing something like that.
Yeah.
And then he gets to do his silly little tattoos on his silly little nerdy friends, and he gets to make a schedule. And I know he's working like 7 days a week because that's just who he is as a human being. Yeah. But like, it's not like he's doing like full ass days. I feel like he's just doing like little Pokemon tattoo and walks on over and goes to like the games nook, and he's just fucking living, and I'm very excited for him.
I love when you see someone's work and you know it's theirs. Like, he has such a specific cartoon or illustrative or like that. It's so him, and I think that's like that's one of the coolest things.
It's
can,
a mix
pinpoint.
Between like traditional and neo-traditional, but like Corey. It's literally just him.
That's cool.
And it's very recognizable. I enjoy that.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I'm trying to think of other people, in the industry that is like so pinpoint, like not necessarily to our town, but like as a whole, if I see a tattoo, I'm like, oh, that's so and so.
Like, if you see like a palm tattoo, it's Luke Ashley.
Yeah, I don't know how Brie, I did both her palms. One stayed beautifully, and the other one's like gone. And I'm like,
I don't know. It's like hand? Some sort. It's like it's a finesse thing, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Like I haven't done a palm, but like seeing like you see a palm come up on my feed, and I'm like, that's Luke Ashley, and then I go over and I'm like, oh, it's so good. And like, Ian Parkin, recognizable, fucking Nico Hurtado, like big, full color, like hyper surrealism, realism.
Yeah, nuts.
Like, it's very neat. Even when you see an old tattoo come in, I can pinpoint the difference between Shalane tattooing when she first started, when she was like 15, 16, and Big Dave.
Big Dave, okay. A moment of silence for that guy. Like
an icon.
Yeah, but like one of like the actual old school, like I'm pretty sure he was in a gang and went to jail. Like he was like a traditional tattoo artist.
Yeah, and he traveled the world. Like I'm pretty sure he did like a stint in California. He did a lot in Southern Ontario, like the shops that I used to go to in the Hamilton area and like Niagara region.
Oh, that's cool.
All did like learning time with Big Dave. And then when I moved here, I was like, this is his origin story. Fucking Wellington West, Sault Ste. Marie.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new innovation, which I think is incredible to see.
Because even you weren't very familiar with like her, like how she wants to do, or it's definitely thriving in like fairy tale illustrative.
So cool. Yeah, it's like a little book.
Yeah, like looks like the drawings out of your Brothers Grimm fairy tale type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, just very etchy, very. It was different. It was very cool.
Yeah.
I was watching. Oh my god, I can't think of her name right now, but one of the artists that I really enjoy, she does crazy like color realism, and she does an underpainting.
What?
Yeah. So like her
on the skin?
On the skin.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm gonna
nuts.
I'll send you the videos. So her first session is an underpainting for her color realism. And then she goes in and then does everything on top of it after like it heals.
That's like literally like oil. That's not alla prima, but like wet on wet. No, that's the same thing. The old school oil painting, you would do your layers.
Yeah.
Like your glaze layers.
So she does that in tattooing.
That's nuts.
Yeah, she's doing like does courses and stuff on it. I'll have to send you the information. But like cool. Seeing her being like, this is how I do my underpainting. I was like, what? We're going back to like the foundations of our the art that we learned initially before tattooing. I'm like, okay, like we already know how to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting to like see how to apply it to skin permanently. Is just mind blowing.
That foundation though, like I mean, I've been in my 14th year and I still get scared of color.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it, but I think it's because I don't do it every day. But the application
It's
is so different than, you know, gray wash. You're allowing the skin tone to come through. So, you know, but like the equivalent of doing full black
Yeah.
is the equivalent of color. So when you imagine like a portrait,
Yeah.
right? Like of like my whole hand, all of the skin tone that's coming through and like even like the mid tones is not fully saturated necessarily.
Yeah.
Whereas if this were to be a full color, would take so much longer, to my understanding, or maybe I just you don't know enough about it, but like it's just such a different application. And I find maybe it's because one of the first times I tried color was one of the only times I've had a client get like a minor infection, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, because it's so easy to overwork the skin.
Holy.
Because like with the blood and plasma coming through the color, like you don't see the imperfections as much as you would with just like a wash.
Yeah.
At least with a wash, you know, like how much to like overwork,
Mm-hmm.
or at least not overwork. And then with color, you're like, I think it's in. We'll find out when it's healed.
But you can't, like, especially working with red, like you have no idea. That's what you said. You're like, you just have to trust it. I remember you were teaching Ange or one of the apprentices.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just have to trust that it's in.
You have to trust that it's in, because if you don't trust that it's in, you're just gonna fucking chew the skin up to hamburger.
Me.
It's awful.
It's scary. I know. This was Cat and Cat.
Thank you for surviving episode 1, I think.
Ansel, get in there.
As he snores.
I'm bummed. What was my jingle?
Tattoo talk with Cat and Cat.
Well, she could Ange to write us one. She's a talented fucker, that one.
Okay.
Well, a little jingle.
And you have homework. You're making us a jingle.